This is Marla Mervis, fellow Wim Hof workshop participant, Reiki master, and holistic host. For about 3 days now, we've been breathing very intensely. We just finished a session together, and for, gosh, how many hours? What, 3 hours? Kind of off and on?
Breathing. We did an hour session, some movement, and then another hour session. It's pretty intense. Yeah, how was it for you?
Well, I guess all I can say in this moment, we literally just finished, is there's a sense of expansiveness. I actually do have a little bit of nausea, like right in my solar plexus area. And I from listening to Wim, I think that's just from things moving around in there. But in general, there's like a, after you go on a big run or a bike ride, I can feel that oxygenation, like the opening of my lungs, and there's a sense of clarity in just my feeling, almost a wobbliness as well. That's how I'm feeling anyway. How are you feeling?
Yeah, well, the breath practice is so really, really powerful, and just to get into it feels like it's quite a challenge, like there's so many different layers. And then once I was finally in and really dropped in, I just felt the first round was a lot of emotion. And to be with that emotion and then just allow it to clear, just to keep with the practice and keep with the practice and just allow it to kind of dissipate. So right now, with the second round that we just finished, was even deeper. And there was a part of me that was feeling I wasn't even going to be able to go that deep because I already went so deep before. And that just goes to show how intense it is and how deep we can go. It's like the deepness and then the highness, the sense of groundedness.
Your eyes look amazing.
Do they?
Yeah, can you see these eyeballs? Yeah. There's a real clarity. I even noticed with Wim the difference before filming him, before we started, and then after we did our series of breath work, his eyes were just glowing. And so there's a feeling to me that, whatever's going on, there is a clarity of eye that occurs, that on a very physical level we're able to witness in each other, that there's transformation happening, that there's change occurring, and I know even in all the cultures, we recognize the eyes as being the entrances to our souls. Curious, what's been the hardest for you in coming into the breathing?
I would say, and I was sharing it with a friend earlier, that I can go really deep and I can still have my mind involved.
Yes.
And it's amazing how much my mind will still stay. And so there's still that, I call it resistance of just not going, deeper in. What about you?
I would say the same thing. I actually would say the same thing. And what's interesting is he really hasn't spoken that the mind has to stop for this to be effective.
Which is really good, because my mind's a tough little bugger.
Yeah, we got tough little buggers in there, don't we?
I think everyone does. Well, I don't think everyone does.
The human species in general is working with how to deal with their mind, and I happen to be part of the human species, and so do you. So, we're working on this. Absolutely. But in the meantime, we're getting our immune system improved by just breathing.
And that's what it's really all about. Is the immune system and the nervous system, and really just working with those systems to clear so we can be healthier and more vibrant and more alive. And it is important to note, too, that he was talking about how maybe at the beginning we feel great, and then the next stage we may actually feel a little uncomfortable, like the nausea that you're talking about, because that's actually what's happening is we're detoxing. We're releasing all of that. And then we get to even more yumminess in ourselves. So it's good to know the process so we don't get a little freaked out as we're doing it, as we continue the practice.
I play with a formula that I work with a lot in my own world, which is empty, fill, create. And so the empty almost always feels a little death-like because you're emptying the trash can and it's stinky and maybe some stuff's been rotting in there. And then you fill with life and it's like, oh, okay then. I can go create something with this. Right. It's new, it's vibrant. And I think that being aware of that process in any of the work that we're doing is really potent and powerful for us. And we're specifically seeing that here, even just the empty of our CO2.
Yes.
There goes the CO2. Inhale of the oxygen. Okay, what else am I emptying when I empty that CO2? For you and I, we've had very emotional experiences today.
Yes.
Like where when we're emptying all the stagnant places in our body, we're also, I know for me, I'm emptying grief. There's a grief release. And, then it's like, okay, well, now that that's gone, what can we fill it with?
Right, absolutely. And thank you for that reminder. The empty, fill,
create. Yeah.
That's good.
Is this a practice you think that you will continue to do after this?
I do. I mean, I've been doing it a little bit anyways in the past, but this just really, I do really well with discipline. So if I say, okay, next 30 days, I'm doing it, it's on. And then just to make this a part of my practice. And just get up, even if it's just like get up every morning and like shoot up out of bed and just do the practice. Just do it.
Last night I went to bed quite late, so this morning to get to class I had to get up what was quite early. And I was kind of, woke up and I was feeling the crunchies in the body, and he's like, all right, what you gonna do, Robin? I'm gonna breathe.
Good for you.
I sat up and I did a couple rounds of the breathing process.
How did it work for you?
Phenomenal. Like absolutely phenomenal, to where I felt like I didn't have to get out of bed. I didn't have to go to the bathroom. I didn't have to drink coffee. I had a moment of really getting to feel all the crunchies go away with just a little breathing, which I hear is from Wim is really just, my body was getting alkalized. My body was saying, oh, life, it's time to be awake.
Right.
Okay, let's do that now. Thank you.
So you're going to continue?
I'm going to continue.
Okay.
Yeah,
good
thanks.
For you.
Yeah, in a nutshell, I'm going to continue.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, but the Iceman did his ice working, and now we get to be receivers of that. And it's really special to have somebody that discovered this on his own, so that we're not actually having to trust in history.
Yeah.
History and hearsay. The hearsay of history.
Yeah. We're seeing it right here. We're very lucky to have the Iceman in Los Angeles, where we can really not just watch things on YouTube, but really experience him.
Right, or read a scripture for that matter. Really get to be with the master himself and have these experiences, to where he was able to, through sitting in ice, literally sitting in ice, could come up with a breathing technique that is accessible to us. It's quite easy.
Right. I think I would choose something else. Like I would choose, I don't know, sitting in a nice hot bathtub, or like I'd like to find my enlightenment there.
Yeah, a little candle light for enlightenment in your hot bathtub. Yeah, absolutely. I'm all about it. Yeah, bring it on.